Hi, I'm Jim Schroeder. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about what I call my 10 commandments for teleconference. For the last year, I've been doing a lot of teleconference back and forth between where I'm living now in Ohio, helping take care of family, and where I do a lot of work in New Jersey. Also working with clients in Pennsylvania, New York, and the District of Columbia, where I'm a licensed attorney. So a lot of time on the road, a lot of teleconference stuff, and here's a quick 10 commandments for how to go ahead and handle these things and be more effective. The first one is be prepared and be in place 5 minutes early. One of the toughest things about these conferences is getting everybody on the line, and when somebody's late and you can't start the meeting, it really sets the wrong tone because people fall into small talk and chatting and that kind of a thing. So if you're hosting the meeting, have the meeting open 10 minutes in advance. And if you're attending the meeting, plan on being there 5 minutes in advance so that last minute cup of coffee or run to the restroom isn't going to knock you out or make everybody else late. The second thing is call in from a noiseless location or as best as you can do. A lot of times the person who is creating that feedback or everybody else hears what sounds like a train whistle or high winds coming through. The person whose phone is creating that, it might just be a gentle breeze as they're out for a walk or other background noises. So do your best to be in the most noiseless location possible. The next thing is disable call waiting. If you have Verizon or AT&T, dial *70 before you start the meeting. If you've got another carrier, just Google how to go ahead and do that. You don't want to have that break into the call. That sound's going to be heard by everybody. Absolutely don't take another call. First of all, because it's rude. And second of all, because sometimes with these phones, they will patch in the person who's trying to call and you don't even realize it. So everybody in the conference call is hearing your conversation with your husband or your wife, and your husband and wife or whoever it is that you're talking to now knows what's going on in this conference call with your client, and that could cause some problems. The next thing is when you get on the line, introduce yourself. A lot of times there'll be a sound or a chime, and it'll say, there's a new person on. Sometimes it'll ask you for your name and it'll announce you electronically. Or if you just hear that and you come into the room, remember, people can't see that you're in the room now and they're having a conversation. Let them know that you're in the room, and that will help move things along. Say your name before speaking. So this is a tough one, especially for meetings that are government meetings or that need to be recorded and minutes need to be taken, like a nonprofit or something. So, I would go ahead and say, Jim Schroeder, I make a motion to pay the bills. Or Jim Schroeder, I second the motion to approve the minutes. That way, the person who is trying to go ahead and keep the minutes or later on the audio minutes are going to be clear because of that. So that's important. Prepare all your necessary documents beforehand. Obviously, you can't pass documents around the room like you do in a regular meeting. So make sure everybody goes ahead and has the agenda and has the documents that they need. And then if you've received those documents, print them out. Don't be fidgeting with them on the computer. Don't be shuffling papers or those kinds of things. Go ahead and do that. Avoid side conversations and unnecessary talking. One of the things that we miss when we do audio calls or video calls is the ability to connect with side conversations and have a little laughter on the side. It really kills a lot of in-person meetings, but it is absolutely fatal for audio and video meetings. You need to stay on track. You need to stick with the agenda. And one of the things that I encourage chair people of the meeting or the host of the meeting to do is to have a time, whether it's in your agenda as new business or just towards the end of the meeting, have a time where you call each person who's in the meeting and say, is there anything else that you think we need to discuss? So that a person doesn't feel like, and announce it at the beginning of the meeting that you're going to do this. so the person doesn't feel like they've got to blurt out in the middle of somebody's report something that they just thought of. Okay? Be patient. Be patient. Take a deep breath. Mute your audio when it's not your turn to speak, so there isn't a whole lot of feedback, but also be patient. It takes a little longer in the catch-up in an audio meeting. There needs to be some space in between people talking. It's hard or impossible sometimes to know when a person that's very deliberate about how they speak is done speaking. Now, if you're in a public meeting with them, you can go ahead and you can see eye to eye, face to face. Okay, it looks like Steve has been able to blurt out what it is he needed to say, or Joanne, it looks like, has formed her full thought and is waiting for a response, but you can't do that in an audio meeting. So the sound of silence is not the enemy in an audio meeting. It's actually a friend. Avoid using your phone. I know it sounds like something that is a no-brainer, but people don't realize that when their microphone is on, again, turn your microphone off unless you're speaking or you need to speak, but they don't understand when their microphone's on, them tapping the phone, them bouncing it around, the clicks of going in and out of an app or an email or those kinds of things are heard by other people. I've had people fooling around, looking and forgetting, listening on their phone, and then go ahead and they're trying to look at YouTube videos or Facebook videos, or one just pops up, and it's very distracting. Pay attention and be active. It's more difficult to follow a teleconference meeting discussion. So if you're not a note taker, I'd encourage you, though, to go ahead and have your agenda there and write down where you are. Check off the boxes of the agenda if you have one. If you have some comments and things that you feel like need to be said in the meeting, but you don't know where to jump in, hopefully the moderator of the meeting has announced, like I recommend, that eventually your name is going to get called. You're going to have time for that. Have your bullet points ready at that point so that you can go ahead and that you can share those. Teleconferences are an effective tool for getting business done, but it takes a little practice and patience to make these meetings effective. And I hope that in this time, certainly while we're all working from home more and trying to continue to do the business, I hope that some of these simple techniques will help you, your organization, your business be more effective as we restart the economy. God bless you.